Right, welcome to part 11 where we'll create the I'll just turn on the floor. We'll create these parts up here along the top. All fairly boxy, straightforward. A little circular kind of piece here, but just a couple of lessons back I think I mentioned it, but in the last lesson we created this nubbiny bit, and when we created this and maybe the handle and more complicated kind of shapes with curves and things on them, usually if I'm modelling 3D Max or even these parts here, I'll always model all those things separate and break them off into elements or separate objects, and it just gives you more freedom with the edge flow for any kind of curved surfaces. But as I said, this is kind of it's a tutorial for learning to model using Zmodeler, so there's no point in I might as well just try and model all these things, you know, in one go, in one part, using the tools. But it's just something to bear in mind that as I say, I'll always model stuff as it might be made in the real world. So you know, it's going to be broken off into, you know, nothing's made out of one big lump. It's there's going to be different components attached to it. So that's the way I'd usually model, and it's a good way to a good mindset to be in when you are modeling. But yeah, so just to bear that in mind, that you know, I wouldn't try to cut all this detail into a single mesh, because as I say, you're limited by what you can do with your polyflow, and it just ends up being more work. So I just did a couple other things. I cut a hole into this where the pipe goes in, just using the split tool. Added a couple of edge loops in, changed this around a bit, and just got it into position. Got these looking more how I'd like them to be. And I also just inset a couple of faces in here just to make it look a bit more like the parts are actually attached in there. So I did that a couple of lessons back. I just forgot to mention it. So you can do that if you want, and do whatever you want. Right, so now we are going to just, as I say, create these up here. So as usual, click Cylinder 3D, make poly mesh, and then just with Q cube, and we will start modeling this top part. So we might start at the back here. Turn on polyframe, and I'm just going to, I'll just get into position first. I'm going to drop it down a bit because I'm going to inset some polys on the top of this as well. So top of the gun, just to make it look, recess them in, just to make it look like it's these parts are sitting in there a bit more. Right, so back to a Zmodeler-Zbrush, and I'm going to just get rid of these and move mask. We'll switch over to mask rectangle. So we'll mask them, invert, and drag these down, and drag this, sorry, drag this in, invert the mask, and drag this in, and bring these across. And that's a bit wider, as you can see in the reference, the next part. So we'll just Q mesh, polygroup island, and we'll just bring that out to where we need it. Bring it out a bit further, start Q meshing and hold shift, and we'll just make sure we've X on, X symmetry, and Q mesh a flat island, sorry, Q mesh single poly. We'll just bring that out, clear the mask. Maybe that's a bit too far, so bring it in a little bit, and Q mesh a flat island, sorry, Q mesh a polygroup island. Tag these, single poly, and we go up to fill mode 3, mask these and just move them down, and maybe stick another edge loop in there. Sorry, go back to film mode 1, it's masked, so just put one in there and drag these out. Okay, and now we might just do we might just start using our creasing again. So it looks like there's a kind of a small bit sticking up there as well in the middle of that on the reference, so we might just add in some more edge loops here. We'll just add an edge loop in here, and now we'll inset the poly and Q mesh. We go once and twice, and I'm going to slide this in, slide that in, and up again, and slide that in, and put some more edge loops in now. One there, one there, and just one down the bottom. Yep, that's good enough. And now we're going to crease these. So crease flat island, and we'll just start creasing. I think that might have actually been set to no, flat island. So I don't know why that happened there, because right, we're going to just undo that. That one there is creased okay. The bottom one needs to be creased, and this one as well. We'll just come in and crease these edges separate. Crease edge, crease, and crease. Crease. Yep, that's grand. Now for this top part, I think what we'll do is we'll just go to B, and then this, as I mentioned earlier on, this 3D creation kit. Did I use that? Maybe that was the binoculars tutorial I used it on, but this can be found on Bad King, and Sasha Shrink is the bloke that made it. So there's some good brushes there just for inserts, so I'm going to select that, and hold down M. I'm going to select something suitable here, so maybe let me see, what have we got? Maybe this one. I'm just going to clip that. And move it down. And then we will go back to our Zmodeler-Zbrush and just kind of modify it a bit here to suit our needs. So we'll just insert an edge here and here and here, and we will go to poly, or sorry, we can Q mesh a poly loop, and what we want to do is first is poly group, poly loop, and then Q mesh. Why is that doing that? Poly group island once, twice, and 3 times, and now we're gonna maybe bevel this with 2 rows just to sharpen it up a bit there, and the top is all blobby because it has this crazy topology. So what we're going to do is delete flat island, just close holes again, and that'll give us a bit better topology, and then we can Q mesh, and we Q mesh it up once, twice, and see what that looks like. Yeah, it's grand, and I might just maybe add I think I'll just add one more. Something strange has happened here with the creasing. I don't know what happened there, but we'll go back to crease edge and crease these 2 edges. I don't know what's going on there. That's shouldn't have happened, but what we can do is just delete these at the bottom, delete hidden. So I'm not sure what happened there, but maybe just one of those things. Missing one more here. And we'll add an loop there. And one in here, control edge. And one here. I don't know why that shouldn't be happening either. Okay, we'll go with that. That's that part done. You can always add more on here if you wanted to. If you wanted it later on. So I'm gonna take some of these and Q mesh single poly, start Q meshing and hold control, break them off, and come up to geometry, crease, and uncrease all because it has the creases from this, which we don't want. And now I'm just gonna Q mesh a flat island, Q mesh that out, and bring it up. So I'm just gonna mask this part here and bring it up. Now we can get rid of some of these edge loops. Sorry, I just need to unmask that and then invert it. And then just mask this again. And bring this over. this back this way, and Zmodeler, Q-mesh a flat island, and we can Q-mesh these and break them off, Q-mesh them again, and they can do for over here. Move. Just bring that up a bit. Oh, we'll leave it where it was actually, and I'll just bring the top up here, and bring this over, bring this back, and bring this back to here, and just bring that out a couple of times, and move it back to there, and then we can tag these and single poly, and just bring them up once, and flat island, now let's do the two of them together. Sorry, you want to do the two of these together also, and then we can bring this up. And now back to this part here. There's the end of that, and there is the end of that. Now that's pretty much all those bits done, except for this last piece in the middle. So let's say we're happy with the width, and we just want to add in an edge loop here, and then we're going to just join these two up. So we'll add another one in here, and then we're going to I'll just add another one here and another one here, just so they're more or less roughly the same. Then I'll tag these as well, and we will delete, nope, delete single poly, and let's see, we have a hole now, so we're going to use bridge. It's just doing that itself automatically itself. I can't stop it even though I'm not moving the mouse, so I'll just have to do this manually. So just bring that down flat, and bring these two as well. And we'll just straighten this one up here. Sorry, I'm just gonna right, that's pretty much that part done. Now I'm going to start creasing again. So face creasing, back to work. Zmodeler-Zbrush, face creasing, crease, flat island. So that's that creased, 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 We'll do that individually because it's not a flat island. It's breaking into poly groups even though it really shouldn't be doing that. So we'll just crease the rest of these manually. Edge creasing, single edge, and we'll just crease these. This is not that many to do anyway. It all seems okay, and we'll just check. So just that edge to do there. And this edge to do here. We could delete these, but we'll just crease them. And these few here. 1, 2. Yeah, that looks okay, except for we might want to just put some creasing on here as well. And now one other thing I'd like to do is I'm going to just put another edge loop in here to tighten this up, and maybe just square this up here, because it kind of comes in a curve. And I'm going to add masked. I'm going to add an edge loop here and give that a bit more of a inwards curve. Sorry, I just want to bring that up, and we will take a look at that. So we have our inwards curve, but this outside here we want to bring up, just straighten that up, and that looks like a shape there, except for this edge here is increased. So we'll do that now. Back to our Zmodeler-Zbrush and crease. Okay, that is that pretty much. You can add also, sorry, one more to do here. And now we can we'll bang one here in the middle. Insert. We'll stick one in the middle there. And now what we can do is, if we put another edge loop in here, then we can split, and we'll split with creasing on, and we'll split, tap Alt to change the poly group, and click again on the back. And first, as always, we want to insert an edge loop and then split and click Q mesh polygroup island, and we'll just drag that through, give ourselves a hole, and that can be our site. Okay, I think that will do us. And then later on, now hang on a sec. Yeah, because this is, I'm just going to add in another edge loop here, very tight to the end, and another one in here, and one here, happy with that at all. So it's because we need one. It's because we need one here. We shouldn't get that problem there now. What I do notice is the amazing. No, it's just a corner here and here. And these are just kind of explain some of the earlier videos where you want to be using control edges in conjunction with your creasing to avoid some of this kind of stuff here. Yeah, it's not too bad there. And that's all good. And that looks pretty good. So I'll just stick the matte shiny on. And now that part is finished. Thank Jesus as you. And we go back to here and we will append the site. And we'll solo it out and move and just move it up and then just move it down, bury it into the gun a bit. Looks like it needs to move forward as well. Don't know how that got misaligned because it's lined up on the other one. And now, as I said earlier on, you know, you can come in and I'm just going to bring it into the middle here. Okay. So there's the top part done. We might have some weirdness going on there. So as I said earlier, you can just inset this to make it look like, or you know, actually what we might do is just put a seam around it. So we could do that now. I'm just going to select this and Z. All that was from earlier on with the masked. It's going to make this a bit more difficult. So what we might do is, right, I'm going to tidy up some of this geometry here. So I'm just going to solo this, and that happened because I just masked earlier on when I was adding edge loops in here, because I just terminated them there rather than run them all the way around, which was a mistake. I'm back again, and I have fixed up this geometry, but I'm sorry, I actually cheated a bit because I exported it to max. I just deleted all these faces, and there was no way of, you see, if I tried to Q-mesh this up and then bridge these polys, this solid geometry was joined up to a hollow one-sided geometry here, so it was creating all kinds of errors. So it just gaussied it to max, fixed it up in about 10 seconds, and gaussied it back. But obviously I lost all my creasing data, so I just re-creased it again. It only took a couple of seconds. So the learning curve for me and you continues. Okay, so what we were going to do was just take this here, take these polys here, and inset them. So we just jump back to our Zmodeler-Zbrush and select these. All we were looking for was just solo that out for a sec, just to have a border, a seam kind of around this, just to inset it a bit, just give it that an extra bit of detail. So I want to just insert another loop in here, and maybe I won't do that. Maybe instead I'll slide, because we're running down into that circle down there, so I'm just going to slide that in a bit. And maybe first I'll mask these ones, because I don't want to move those, and just slide it in slightly, and select these, clear the mask, and select these, and maybe add a loop in here. So let's see what that runs into. Yep, can live with that. I'll just raise it up a bit and select these if I can. Just gonna have to solder that for a second and select these. Okay, so let's say we're happy with that. Now we're going to inset a single poly, and we'll just bring it in once, twice, nope, do that again, and this time yeah, I'm just going to bring it right in, and then I can just add in some edge loops. So one there, one there, one there, and one here. And we'll unsolo, and one thing we might want to do is slide that up. No, what I'm going to do is mask and just bring the whole lot up, move, and take a look at the front, and that should do us nicely. I'm going to add in some control edges again, one in here and one here. And we can probably, let's see, maybe too bad there, and one here, and one, sorry, one one here, and now we're going to go to poly group, poly loop, and we're going to have to hold this one down, tap shift, and do the same up here. Remember that copy and paste a different poly group. So space Q mesh, Q mesh poly group island, drag down once, drag down once, drag down once, click again, and click, click. Let's see what we have now. So that just gives us you know, a bit of a seam around there, just to give it an extra bit of detail. And it looks like we have a problem here. So let's see what that is. That is a crease that's unwanted. So edge, crease, single edge, and then alt to uncrease, Z, and we are laughing. Right, so that is finally. Now we can move on to the next piece. So I'll see you in the next one. if you didn't die during the length of that one. Alright, cheers, thanks, good luck.